didn't speak. Not a word. But he's I'm working with him as a sponsee, and he has done everything I've asked him to do. He's willing to do the work, and I've seen a lot of changes in his life. So would you help me welcome Josh C.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh and I'm an addict. I've been clean and sober since June 28th of 2019. I don't know, I guess getting sober for me was more or less, it was either that or I was going to lose everything, my life, my family, just everything. But I don't know, this program is really, it's really saved my life and saved relationships, with family, with Trisha, my kids, everything. But I don't know, I guess when I was growing up, I don't know, I got kind of got bullied a lot in high school or in school because, I had transferred from a public school to a private school. And I guess you didn't go to school with them, all through the beginning years, you weren't really a part of their group or whatever. So it's kind of an outcast already. But I don't know, I guess through like doing sports and stuff, I kind of fit in a little bit better. But that was really the only thing I knew. I didn't really do any like partying or anything like that in high school. I think I only went to 2 parties in high school. But I don't know, it was more or less after I graduated high school. But growing up, there was some stuff I dealt with, through parents' divorces and stuff. It kind of affected me quite a bit. There was a time when my mom, she would talk badly on my father, and so, I really didn't get to see him growing up, and all, it was pretty much, I thought he was a piece of shit, growing up, just because him and my mom weren't together. And I mean, they had their issues, he did bad shit, and I'm sure she had done stuff too, but growing up, and thinking your biological father is just a piece of shit, and then when you get old enough, you meet him, he's a pretty damn good guy, I mean, he's just like all of us, he's got issues too, he's an addict, but he's doing good for himself now. But around 5 years old, my mom met her husband Mark, and growing up, it was the best thing I could ask for. He was there for us. He was in my life. He was a role model for me growing up. And he was in recovery at the time. So I kind of grew up. I think I might have went to a couple meetings with him before at that old GAR hall in Fall City. But I mean, we did like everything together. We many hours practicing sports. Doing just stuff that I enjoyed doing and he enjoyed doing with us. He was a great role model growing up. But like some of us, he fell back into his addiction, so that kind of affected me a lot because things weren't the same. Stuff happened, and it just seeing the person that you look up to, just fall, and just how it affected our whole family. It was it was kind of tough for me to deal with. But recently, through these past few years, we've he's in recovery, I'm in recovery. We've gotten, our relationship's been so great. It's better, almost better than it was before. Because now we share emotions and stuff with each other, and really didn't do that growing up. It was just we did stuff that we enjoyed, camping, sports, all this stuff. And now, we both grew together in this program, and, I look up to him again, he's an awesome man. But, my using really started when I graduated high school because, I went to college, tried out college, I guess you'd say. Didn't really do much because I didn't really know how to live. I was just, because I was catered to pretty much my whole life. My mom, she was kind of codependent, so everything I needed, she did for me. She wouldn't let me get a job because you need to focus on sports or whatever, so I didn't know how to live as a human being, I just knew how to live with somebody taking care of me. So, when I went to college, I kind of, got out from under the rock and I started drinking. I started, smoking weed, skipped classes. I think I had an 8 o'clock class that I maybe made it to twice during the whole first semester, so I don't know. It was just the feeling I got when I was drinking with him and smoking weed, it was like, I was such an outcast growing up that I didn't, I found somewhere where I could fit in. I was almost, pretty much accepted into that crowd because I was drinking with them. We were partying, so I had a little bit of, acceptance. I didn't have to deal with the abandonment that I was growing up with, and so it went okay, I thought, for a while, but, shortly, probably about a year and a half into it, I was probably I got out of college because I left on academic probation, financial aid probation, disciplinary probation. It was pretty much doing everything they could besides kick me out just to get me to leave, pretty much, because I was doing shit that we do, you're not supposed to be doing that. The dorm I was in was a dry campus, it was a dry dorm. You couldn't even do tobacco, and of course, I had to try to get away with everything I could. But that was around the first time I got arrested. I had alcohol on campus. The residence director or whatever, he was doing his job, of course, and you're not supposed to have alcohol, of course. I went to school. He went to the same school as I did, so I was, trying to play that card, like, oh, just let it go this time, it'll be all right, But, he's doing his job. Of course, and that pissed me off because, it wasn't what I wanted him to do. So I had pushed him and he fell down or whatever. But then, shortly after that, the cops came and I got in trouble for assault. I got arrested, and I don't know. I thought it was bullshit. Who goes to jail for pushing someone? But that's not the point. The point is, it was my alcohol-induced anger that forced me to push someone because I was breaking the rules and he was doing his job. It's like, but when I was talking about that abandonment, the biggest thing I think I had to deal with, was, like I told you, I was good at sports. That was my claim to fame, what made me feel accepted or whatever. It also made me feel accepted with my family that in the town that I live with, because they all loved coming to my games. They all loved watching me play. It was great. I was, someone for their kids to look up to, and, then that I graduated, went to college, and in that year and a half, after I got kicked out of Peru pretty much, I came back and it was like, they didn't want nothing to do with me, so it was like, that abandonment I felt was like, it was real, like, you guys, you appraised me pretty much, when I was doing good, so I came back from that and there's, they really didn't want anything to do with me, they told their kids, that's what you don't want to grow up to be, because I was drinking and using drugs, which I don't blame them, but still it's just, it had affected me, and gave me another reason to drink, I guess. But I don't know. After I got kicked out of college, I moved up to Beatrice with my sister, and that's when all hell broke loose. Pretty much, I started getting arrested a lot for drinking, and I guess I got, I think 2 MIPs or whatever, and so it was really, that's when, my whole career as a active user started. I'm getting into full gear. Someone introduced me to meth, and man, that was a good buzz for me. I could drink longer, it didn't affect me. But it made me hang out with some of the shadiest people that, I would have never thought to hang out with, and at that point, I started using meth. I was using pills. I was using ecstasy, everything. I had a goal at that time, and it was stupid as I look at it now, but my goal was, I want to try everything out there at least once. It was like, you put it in front of me and it's a drug, I'm going to try it, just to see what it does. But I made it a long way through it, though. Not all of them, but I started getting in trouble, doing what meth addicts do, stealing, just shit to fuel my addiction. Use to live, live to use. That's exactly what it was for me. I broke a lot of relationships with the people that cared about me the most, and it always seems to be that way. I don't know why, but those are the ones that you treat the worst. For me, it was, at least. I don't know. I guess getting in a lot of trouble, I guess that comes hand in hand with doing drugs. But that I finally started getting off the drugs a little bit. So I was like, well, I'm gonna drink, because I really didn't get in a whole lot of trouble from drinking. I didn't get no felonies from drinking. So I was like, I'm gonna drink, because it's legal, And at that time, I had gotten a job working on a bridge crew. And I don't know if many of you guys know, but doing construction work in a hotel 5 days a week, drinking comes hand in hand with it. At least it did for me. But I was drinking constantly, Monday through Thursday, running out of money. And I made good money, but it all went to the liquor store, to the bars. It didn't go where it should have went, with my family, my kids, paid for bills, But yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I thought I'd never got in trouble for alcohol, so it was okay. So we was working out in Hebron, and there were some guys out there that, you go to a new town, they hire some people from that town or whatever, and I met some of them. We started partying, it's like, let's go to Beatrice, and let's go to the bars in Beatrice or whatever, so ended up doing that quite often, actually, more than, well, of course, more than I should have, but I met my sister at the bar in Beatrice. She had called my father and told him, that I was there. That he should come get me, because I shouldn't be driving. So I wasn't driving. He came and got me. We went to his house. I was there for like probably an hour, something like that, and I convinced him that, just give me my keys back. I'm gonna drive back to Hebron. I'm gonna get something to eat, then I'm gonna drive back to Hebron so I can make the work on time the next day. Well, I didn't make it very far. I made it to the Burger King drive-thru at the order menu, and I had passed out there. And of course, Burger King was closed, you know. But I was passed out at the order menu, got woken up by the police, got arrested for a DUI. And I say passed out because I used to just say I was asleep, but then my sponsor had told me, no, you were passed out, you know. But yeah, so there was the first DUI. But as time went on, of course, I didn't stop drinking. I just found ways to get around the breathalyzer in my truck. But that DUI ended up getting dropped because it's private property or something. I don't know, some thing. So, that gave me the okay to keep doing it, I guess. We ended up going to Columbus for a job. Of course, more drinking and driving. I was in Lincoln and I was in Lincoln, drinking, driving. I was already wasted. And that was my thing. I started drinking, I wanted to get in my car and go. Drive back roads. I don't know. It's just the thing that I like doing, I guess, when I was drinking. But I woke up. Well, I guess from being passed out in someone's driveway in Lincoln that I don't know who lived there. They thought I was dead, so they called the police, the fire department there, because they thought I was dead. But they ended up, getting arrested for a DUI, and but I got right out because for some reason you get arrested and you can have somebody sober come pick you up from the drunk take. You can go home. So I think my sister ended up coming and getting me, and so I didn't have to bond out that time. And then a week later, I was back up at Columbus because I was still on my 15-day license, because after you get a DUI, you get like 15 days where you can still drive legally. So that next week, just drinking and driving again. This is insanity, isn't it, man? Jeez. But but I was going to go to Beatrice this time from Columbus. And for some reason, I made it almost all the way there, probably like 10 miles from Beatrice, and I passed out on the highway, parked my truck somehow, passed out on the highway, and of course my truck was running, lights were on, or whatever, So a week later, I ended up getting another DUI. So it was like 2 DUIs, 2 weeks. It was like, crazy, but I don't know. I guess I still didn't learn my lesson because, both of those, they was in different counties. So I got first offense on both of them. So at this time I had 1 dropped and 2 first offense DUIs. But then, so I was like, I need to do something, So I was like, I got to quit this job. I needed to come back home, because I thought I was okay because I never drink at home. It was on the road when I was gone, so I never drink at home. Of course, long before that I did it or whatever, but at this time I didn't. But I ended up getting this job at Fall City at Airline Co. It went okay for a little bit, and convinced myself I could just start drinking a 6-pack and that'd be it, and I wouldn't buy no more. But then it ended up me being, buying these little shooters of Fireball, taking them to work and drinking them at work. Then I got drunk at work, okay. Stumbled over to the next business, which is right across the yard, at Ames, and they had to shut down the plant because there was some drunk guy in their plant, so they had to lock down, and of course that was me. But so this started me on my bender, the last one. I came home, church had came and got me. I was angry, of course. Kicked their windshield, broke it. But yeah, this started me on my bender, and then I ended up getting another DUI from. This was the first time, I got pulled over actually while I was driving, because I had a tail light out. But so yeah, so now right now I have 2 first offense DUIs and 1 second offense DUI. And of course Tricia has been there, through my meth using days, through my, through the all of it, through pretty much all of it. And she had stuck by my side through a lot of it, but came to a point where she came to a realization that she doesn't need me, that she can do it without me. My kids didn't need me if I was going to be drunk, going to jail all the time. They didn't need me in their life. But so she told me, this has to be the last time. If it's not, I can do this on my own. I don't need you. Me and the kids are gone. Well, I'll be gone. They're going to stay where they're at, of course. But and she's kind of said that type of stuff before, but for some reason, it just kind of hit home this time. It was like, man, this, I'm going to lose it all. And I've lost it all before. Homeless, dumpster diving, living in my car, all the shit that comes along with doing drugs, for me at least. But yeah, it was just, I knew at that time, I had to get real with myself. I had to get clean. I had to get sober, because, I was going to lose my kids, my family, So, that was on June 28th, 2019. That's when my sobriety had started. I say sobriety because my recovery didn't start yet. That was just my sobriety, About a week into my sobriety, my mom passed away on July 5th, 2019. And that was something that, really took a hold on me. It was like, and I know it scared the shit out of Tricia because she was like, shit, he's only been sober a week. His mom just died, My go-to, was I was going to turn to drugs and alcohol again, to deal with it because I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to do anything. But by the grace of God, I didn't go out and use. I kept my support, Patricia, my kids. I knew my kids needed me. My family, sister, I knew Mark needed me, because he dealing with it just as much as me, they all did. And I don't know, it was kind of like one of my God moments, it was like, I know that is one thing that my mom always wanted, because she was a substance abuse counselor. Go figure, right? But that was one thing that she wanted. She wanted me to be clean and sober. She wanted me to be a better person, a better father, a better brother, better son, a better spouse. So when that happened, I was like, wow, she's gone. I have to do this, I have to do this. Because, I'll never be able to make like physical amends to her, so I'm just going to have to do it by, living the program, and staying clean and sober and doing what I need to do. So I don't know, that's kind of around the time that I started going to meetings, and I really didn't know what to do at these meetings. I've been to them before in Beatrice and even in Fall City before, but it was never really something that I wanted to do or felt like I needed it. It was all, judge ordered or probation ordered or whatever, so I kind of was just going through the motions. And when I first started, it was kind of just going through the motions, but like Gary had said, I really wouldn't say anything, but I guess by doing that, that it helped me, to understand that, I wasn't alone, I'm not the only one. I was special because I had gone through all this stuff, so it was special, because it was me, nobody else has gone through it. You guys are just here, but so I had to so I had to listen, and that was something I really wasn't very good at, listening to other people. But, those first 6 months around that, I learned a lot. I learned that, that I'm not alone. I'm not the only person that's gone through shit, and I really believe in that one quote, we'll love you till you can love yourself, and I really felt that for me, because, I didn't know how to love anything. I loved drugs, I loved that lifestyle, which I really didn't, but my addiction told me I did. Then I started opening up, talking a little bit here and there, started talking to a few people, and then, that's kind of like, for me, that's kind of like when my recovery started, because I was starting to allow myself to allow people in, allow myself to be helped, because I wasn't teachable. I wasn't, in the very beginning, I was still sticking to my guns about, what I was, but, and then COVID came. Fuck COVID. But it was kind of a blessing in a sense for me, because there's only 2 licensed drug dealers in Fall City, and one of them opened up the meeting, and he couldn't no more because we needed, our licensed drug dealers in Fall City. So he asked me if I wanted to do some service work and open up the meetings Tuesday night. And really that is a big part that changed my life too, because it made me accountable, it gave me some responsibility. And, I still do it to this day. I still open it up to every Tuesday. And I enjoy doing it, get there early, start the coffee, lay all the readings out, it's simple, but it's something that I enjoy doing, and there wasn't many of us that came to meetings during COVID, there was like 3 or 4, but, we came, and you don't need a bunch of people to have a meeting, you only need 2 people, right? So, I don't know, I learned a lot from, those few people that would come to the meetings. It was nice when there was a big meeting, except having to wear the fucking masks and shit. And that sucks. But, but you gotta do what you gotta do, go to any lengths to get this recovery business. If I had to wear a mask to get drugs, I would have done it. I would have wore like 3 or 4, I would have worn the shield, everything. but yeah, that's, I've learned so much in this program. One of the biggest things I learned, is how to love myself, how to love others. In this program, this is it might sound silly, I guess, but it's the first time I've ever told another man I loved him, outside of my family, and I can say it, make it weird, right, Tim? but yeah, it's love, man. That's what this program is. It gives you a sense of belonging. It has for me. Another thing, and I finally learned what unconditional love was. Like what I have with Trisha, my girls, my family, I love them, I never really could say that before. I mean, I said it, but there was a reservation behind it, because it was something I could say to get something I wanted later, to make things okay, to heal the wounds or whatever, I mean, you guys know how we are, that was very manipulative, but, I can love and I can care, even though sometimes my kids are shitheads, but you know, I love them, you know, because they're my shitheads. But you know, it's an honor to be their dad, you know, and I can, you know, I don't know, it's crazy to think about this, you know, the stuff that we have done, that I've done, but I can look back at it now as you know, a lesson learned. You know, it's not going to bring me shame anymore. It's not going to bring me guilt, because that was one of the big things that I struggled with, that would kept me using. You know, because I've been to treatment, and of course they told me shame and guilt. You know, those are your two big things. Well, I knew that, you know, but so they gave me books, and I wasn't going to read no books. You know, it was like, but I knew, you know, because I could think about something, and it was like, man, you fucking piece of shit, you did that to them, you know. But and of course there's these, you know, famous things that Gary, my sponsor, talks about. You know, there's these silver bullets, you know, and they're real, man. You know, the things that you think about that you've done, you know, in your using days, that if you ever think about using or drinking again, you know, you think about that, it's like, man, that's how low I can get, you know. And it can be, you know, it was, you know, bad. Like the one that I can think about the most is my youngest daughter. I was out on a drug run, and Trisha went into labor while I was gone. So I rushed to get back, because I didn't want to miss her. Of course, I was high off my ass, you know. I made it back barely in time. You know, I think she might have held her in till I got there. But I made it there, you know. I made it there on time. Was there for it, you know. You know, I couldn't enjoy it, you know, because I was high. You know, the first one, you know, Jordan, you know, our middle child, you know, I wasn't high when I went there for that one. I was more scared than anything. But this one, I had no emotion, pretty much. You know, there was no emotion there from me. And, you know, of course I held her and, you know, did all the stuff that I needed to do. And then I don't know how long afterwards that after she was born, but Trisha went in to get her first shower or whatever, you know, after the birth, you know. While she was in there, you know, I snuck and got in her purse, grabbed her keys, and took off and went on another drug run. And, you know, that's how low, you know, I can get when I'm in my using days. And I didn't even come back to the hospital, you know. My mom had to go get her from the hospital and bring her home, because I wouldn't even bring her car back, you know. It was just, I can think about that today, and yeah, it sucks, you know, it hurts. But that's going to keep me from going back out, because I don't want to get that low again. You know, I don't want to have to make her suffer like that, you know, or anybody suffer like that, you know. I don't know. I give a lot of credit to, you know, the people that have been through the worst of it with me, you know, like Trisha, my sister, you know, my family, you know, my immediate family, you know, because they didn't leave me, you know, which they should have. Yeah, they should have. I was an asshole. I was a piece of shit, you know. I did so much bad shit to them. I wouldn't have stayed, you know. And that's just crazy, you know, because I think about it, you know, it's like, would I have stayed if she would have been doing, fuck no, you know. No, I wouldn't have. But I guess the people that deal with this, they're stronger than I thought, you know, because, you know, they deal with a lot of it, and they don't have to use to hide it, you know. They don't have to use to deal with us using, you know. And at that time, I didn't know what that was. You know, how the hell are you doing that? You know, and but I'm very grateful that they did, because, the relationships I have with them today are a hell of a lot stronger than they were when we first met, or growing up, because they know the struggles I've been through, and I know, and I know that they were with me through those struggles and didn't give up on me and are still there for me today. I'm very fortunate for the foundation I have, because without foundation, it's hard to do this thing. For me, I don't know if I would have made it, because it's what you got to build up from, and it's one of those God things, it's God working through them to help me, I guess. But there's so many blessings I've gotten from this program, so much stuff I've learned about myself. I'm not that bad of a person, I'm not a piece of shit, I am a good person, I'm not when I'm using, I'm not, when I'm not in recovery, and I know I owe a lot of that to my sponsor too, he's fucking awesome, he listens to my bullshit when I talk to him, lets me come over to his house. He's got kind of a mean dog, but but no, he's great. I don't know. Doing the step work has done a lot for me too, because I don't know, when I first got a sponsor, I was about a year and a half, maybe between a year and a half, into sobriety, and my life was going great, I thought, and which it was, it was going great, a lot better than it ever has, but I didn't want to lose that, so I was like, I heard people in the meetings talking about step work and sponsors and, stuff like that, well, maybe I should try that so I don't lose this goodness that I have in my life, and they say to find somebody that you can relate with, that you look up to or whatever, and, it's like, there's not a whole lot of couples, that are in here. It's a lot of single people, at least around Fall City in the area, so I was like, I knew Gary, he's been in this program a long time, so I was like, I want what he has, he seems like a pretty happy guy, so I talked to him, and he agreed to be my sponsor, and found out, our stories are a lot alike, because he had the same stuff that I've gone through, and it amazed me, it's like, wow, I can relate to you so much, so, he's really been a lifesaver. I don't know, it's another thing that it helped, helped give me some, I don't know, I think humility would be the word. I'm not for sure. I'm not good with definitions and stuff, but me and Trisha would sitting outside on our porch one night, and we had been talking, and I had talked to her, and she had, we had talked about, her side, like the stuff that she had gone through, the emotions that she felt while I wasn't there, or while I was using, and I never thought about that, that was never crossed my mind, it was all about me, what I'm doing, how I'm doing things, fixing things, it never crossed my mind to think about how she was feeling, or, what she felt like when I was going through, that helped me grow so much, because I don't know, like I said, I never thought about their side of it, it was always just my side of it, but like I said before, the stuff that she had gone through, just to, be with me still, it's amazing. But yeah, And I don't know. I feel really, really good about where my life's at right now. I'm not gonna quit fighting because I can't. You know, like one thing I learned at that retreat, you know, is if you're coasting, you can only coast downhill. You know, so you know you always got to be doing work. You always got to be working this program. But I don't know. I'm just very honored you guys asked me to come, you know, share my story with you. Hopefully somebody could get something out of it. But yeah, I'm very glad to be here, and that's all I got.